it's the Apocrypha. Jonah, how can you be sure? Because it's in these other Apocrypha. Jesus Christ said it. That's why. And when he comes to the temple, he sees a pool of blood. Like a whole body's worth of blood, which is a lot of blood, sitting there on the stones inside the courtyard of the temple, boiling. It's just sitting in, it just boils and boils and boils.
This is so cool. And that's the perpetual pool of blood in Solomon's temple that Jesus Christ himself references when the Sadducees criticize him for not washing properly with his followers.
Yep.
And he says, you want to talk not washing? You got a pool of blood that's on your hands.
Right. So what happened?
Dude, that is so hardcore.
No, it's super hardcore. This defiled, blood-soaked temple is the temple in which they go, hey, look, we found a new book, and let's rewrite all the old books. Okay?
Oh, man.
It's a savage rebuttal. But who's
No
Zacharias?
wonder they were pissed.
Yeah, they were pissed.
Jesus Christ was so based.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Everybody gets on us for reading these extra biblical texts. Yeah, you know who else read them? Jesus read them.
All of the scriptural references used in this episode will be brought to you by scripturenotes.com. For a free trial to Scripture Notes, please visit the link in the description. All right, Jonah. Dude. Okay.
What?
Okay. Look, dude, don't get mad at me, bro. So, I'm reading your book, and you mention a perpetual pool of boiling blood.
I thought you'd
in the
like
Temple
that.
of Solomon. Okay. What is the perpetual pool of boiling blood in the Temple of Solomon?
Bro, it's real. It's real.
Okay, what is it? Tell me.
Okay, so it's the Apocrypha. Jonah, how can you be sure? Because it's in these other Apocrypha. Jesus Christ said it. That's why.
Wait, what? Jesus Christ mentioned the pool of perpetual boiling blood in the Temple of Solomon? I don't remember this.
Oh, you don't remember it?
Shut up. I'm pulling up Scripture Notes
Well,
right now.
Carden, perhaps you should have read a little more carefully.
I call BS. What is this? Is this a twist? What is this? Is this clickbait? Go. What is it? Tell me.
You just haven't been doing your reading. No, so if you remember, where is this? Now I gotta find all this stuff here. I'm
in Scripture Notes right now.
Okay, go to Luke chapter 11.
Okay.
Verse. Hang on, I'll bring it up here.
Okay.
Okay, I have it. Okay, in the Discord, there's a little excerpt.
Okay, gotcha. Here's Luke chapter 11, though.
Luke chapter 11, go down to verse 47.
Verse 47. Okay, hit it.
So Jesus Christ and his disciples are eating.
Okay.
And the Pharisees are like, how come you don't wash your hands before you eat? You're going to have, dirty food or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
And you should wash your hands. So Jesus Christ turns and says, woe unto you, for ye build sepulchres of the prophets, and your fathers killed them.
Okay.
Truly ye bear witness that ye allow the deeds of your fathers, for they indeed killed them, and ye build their sepulchres. Therefore also said the wisdom of God, I will send them prophets and apostles, and some of them they shall slay and persecute, that the blood of all the prophets, which was shed from the foundation of the world, may be required of this generation. From the blood of Abel unto the blood of Zacharias, which perished between the altar and the temple. Verily I say unto you, it shall be required of this generation. Woe unto you lawyers. Now, no matter what I'm quoting, I always want to include woe unto you lawyers, even if it's semi-irrelevant to what we're talking about. It really doesn't have much to do.
Yeah. Okay.
But I just think it's got to remind everybody, Jesus Christ, not a fan of lawyers.
Yeah,
Not a fan of lawyers. Okay.
I hear you.
Anyway, so he says, these guys are like, oh, you got to wash or else you're going to be dirty. And Christ all of a sudden brings up like Abel.
And Zacharias that died between
it says perished between the altar and the temple. And you're like,
so does the Apocrypha shine light on this or what?
Yes, it certainly does. So
this is so cool.
So Abel, so everybody knew that, by the way, everybody knew this. Jesus Christ isn't just talking like a crazy man. Like the people around him hearing this, they're like, oh, like he's making a point because they're familiar with these stories. So everybody gets on us for reading these extra biblical texts. Yeah, you know who else read them? Jesus read them. Okay,
Yeah.
He's preaching from the Apocrypha.
Yeah.
Okay, and in it is the story of Cain and Abel, and Cain kills Abel, and when he kills Abel, and we've talked about the murder of Abel before, it's horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
And what happens is he tries to bury the body of Abel, and the earth won't let it be buried. In many stories, and
I caught you off guard with this one, didn't I?
Yes, you did. There's a ton of them where they say he tried to cover the blood, he tried to dig a hole, wherever, and the earth rejected Abel's body. He was unable to bury it. And so Cain is tortured by this because he can't hide his sin. The theme of Cain's murder is he no longer has a veil for his sins. So remember, they in the last thing before they leave the garden is Jehovah makes a veil, makes a coat of skins for Adam and Eve. And that coat of skins was supposed to go to Cain. Well, now Cain has killed his brother, and so now he loses the inheritance of Adam, and his sins are unhidden. They're before the Lord. So he can't hide Abel's body. He's all freaked out about this, and it never gets buried. So as the legends go, and this isn't one apocryphal story, there's many that agree to this. They have to take the body of Abel and they put it in their cave, and it just sits for like centuries.
Jeez,
because the earth said, I will not allow anyone to be buried until Adam is buried first.
Oh, interesting.
The earth says, I won't let anyone else be buried until Adam. He was the first to be taken from me, and he's the first that should be returned to me. And so because Abel was killed, it was this like this glitch in the plant, and the earth is like, I'm not doing this. And so Abel's body sits in the cave on the holy mountain for centuries as this, reminder of Cain's horrible murder or whatever.
Wow. Okay.
And then finally, when Adam dies, there's many references to this, and I have these in the Discord you can find.
Okay.
There's two little quotations from the Armenian. Yes, the last one you were at.
Okay.
The history of the sons of Adam.
Okay.
And it has.
Here.
Yeah. Oh, this is perfect. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, verse 50, this is perfect. It says, whenever they buried Abel's body, it came out of the face of the ground. They try to bury his body, but it won't. It comes out of the face of the ground. Also, his blood never dried, and his body did not stink, nor become worm-eaten. So the body doesn't decompose, but it won't be buried either.
And what book was this from again?
This is the Armenian history of the sons of Adam.
Okay. Wow. All right.
But this is attested to in several different works. Whenever there's like one source, I'm always like, gotta watch out.
Yeah.
But the burial of Abel's body is attested to in several.
And it starts to paint a picture. I mean, we're doing the exact same thing that they did to figure out where Alexander the Great actually conquered and where he didn't. If one city says, he was here and fought a glorious battle, and we joined his army in his peaceful revolution, then we know, you might be full of crap. You're trying to justify the fact that your city sucks, and the only buildings that are still standing are kind of Hellenistic, right? But if there's like 15 different historians that are like, Alexander the Great was here and he set up a palace, and for 200 years we were blessed with prosperity from his reign. Then it's like, he might have actually made it here.
That's right. There's lots of sources that talk about. One will say, Cain tried burying him, Cain's children tried burying him, or Adam and Eve tried burying him, but they all agree that nobody could bury him.
Okay.
The earth would not accept it. His blood would not stop. One actually says Cain was stained with the blood of Abel forever. That on his hands and on his skin he had the stain.
That might have been the marking.
And that's what they. It says the blood would not leave Cain's skin, which is kind of freaky deaky, right? So, So when he's referring to the blood of Abel, everybody knows what Jesus is talking about.
Okay. And what's this? I see this one in the Discord.
This is wonderful. Yeah, this is the Armenian. Yeah, so it says, for God said to Adam that he should become dust and then his offspring. It was necessary that Adam should die first and return to the dust, then his offspring. Until Adam's death, the corpse of Abel remained thus intact as though alive and asleep. And when Adam died, then Abel's corpse entered its grave.
Wow.
Okay? So it wasn't allowed to be. So for a long time, Abel's body sat. Finally, Adam dies. And then that story is another story, but they take Adam's body on the ark and whatever. Finally, Abel can be buried. Okay? So when Jesus is telling the story and he mentions the blood of Abel is unique. Because everyone else's blood just washes away. But the blood of Abel does not wash away. And so what's he talking about? You're eating without washing. And Jesus goes, you want to talk about not washing? All the blood from Abel to Zacharias will be stained upon you, right? The prophets who've been murdered, okay?
Oh, man.
It's a savage rebuttal. But who's Zacharias?
No wonder they were pissed.
Yeah, they were pissed. But who's Zachariah? Zachariah, son of Berechiah, it says, or son of Jehoiada, depending on what you read. So that also is mentioned in the Bible, though with not a lot of detail. That is from 2 Chronicles. Zachariah,
I'm looking it up in scripture notes.
Son of
Zachariah in 2 Chronicles. Oh, while you're pulling that up, big shout out really fast. Huge shout out to a sponsor of this episode. We've got Go and Do Travel actually sponsoring this episode, specifically their Wave Makers 2025 LDS podcaster cruise. Yeah, you're going to be able to see the Stick of Joseph guys, Thoughtful Faith, Quick Media, Jasmine Rapoli, David Butler, David Boyce from 52 Churches in 52 Weeks, as well as your humble host, Cardinal Ellis there, doing some special programming, some glad handing, so on and so forth, all on the Wave Makers 2025 LDS Podcasters Cruise. For more information, go check that out at goanddotravel.com. Also, I do believe, I think it's like the first 5 people that sign up get a 5% discount using the promo code WardRadio5. So they'll at least pay your sales tax if you use the promo code WardRadio5. So go check that out at goanddotravel.com. Now back to you, Jonah. You find your stuff?
Yes. So if you look in so first of all, there's some debate about who Zechariah was, okay? Because people are like, oh, he was not the prophet. There's the book of Zechariah, we all know, right?
Okay, yeah.
And people are like, oh, different Zechariah, they say, okay? So there's some debate as to if it's the right dude or not. We don't know. So he's mentioned in 2 Chronicles chapter 24.
Okay, I'm there.
That's where Zachariah, son of Jehoiada, is. This is the guy that Jesus is referencing, okay? He might be the same guy as the book of Zechariah, chapter 9, verse 9, where he says, "Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, thy king cometh."
Okay.
He's just having salvation, lowly and riding upon an ass, and upon the colt the foal of an ass. Okay, so everyone will recognize that's Jesus Christ. It's a messianic prophecy.
Yes, rock on.
Well, they didn't love messianic prophecies back in Judah. Okay, which is why we had the Book of Mormon.
And what's that got to do with 2 Chronicles?
In 2 Chronicles, Zechariah is preaching these things that people don't like, and so what do? They do what they always do, and they kill him. So if you look down in verse 20.
Okay, I'm there. Verse 20.
In verse 20, the Spirit of God came upon Zachariah, son of Jehoiada the priest, which stood above the people and said unto them, Thus saith God, why transgress ye the commandments of the Lord that ye cannot prosper? Because ye have forsaken the Lord, he hath also forsaken you. Verse 21, and they conspired against him and stoned him with stones at the commandment of the king in the court of the house of the Lord, in the temple.
Whoa. Wait. So you're saying that in 2 Chronicles we have the story of Zachariah, the son of Jehoiada the priest, that got stoned to death in the courtyard of the temple.
Yes.
And that's the perpetual pool of blood in Solomon's temple that Jesus Christ himself references when the Sadducees criticize him for not washing properly with his followers.
Yep.
And he says, you want to talk not washing? You got a pool of blood that's on your hands.
Right. So what happened?
Dude, that is so hardcore.
No, it's super hardcore. Hardcore. So they kill him in the temple. In the temple, right? He is the son of the priest. He's God's prophet on earth. He preaches about the Messiah. They change it to make it, he preached against groves. No, they didn't. He preached about the Messiah. So they stone him to death in the temple, and he dies, and his blood goes all over. Now, the courtyard of the temple is in the temple. That's holy ground. Okay?
Yeah.
So his blood goes on the stones of the temple. Now, the Bible doesn't tell you kind of the rest of the story, but there is...
an apocryphal reference.
There is, and I have it in my book.
Which book? This book that is also available at prayingandpreciouspublishing.com.
What?
And if you use, what do you know? And if you use the coupon code WardRadio5, then you can get this book for, actually, no, it's just WardRadio. I think you get 10% off at WardRadio on Plain and Precious Publishing if you use the coupon code WardRadio. I can't remember, but I can show you the website. Check it out there, and you can get all of Jonah's books as well as one or two of Dave Butler's as well. The catalog is indeed growing, and there's the Lost Gems of Genesis.
That's right.
Waiting for you there. Okay,
and you can read all about this. You can check all my sources, and you can fight with me online about it. Whatever, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
But
cool.
if you go, I put a little citata in from my book in the Discord, the latest little thing. Okay.
Cool.
In the Mishnah Sanhedrin 96b, which I'm sure everyone here is familiar with.
Yeah, totally.
It talks about when Nebuchadnezzar comes to Jerusalem. Okay, remember?
Okay, right here.
Nebuchadnezzar comes because the Deuteronomists did such a heck of a job.
Yeah.
Such a heck of a job. Josiah was such a great king
Yeah.
that immediately afterwards the Lord destroys Jerusalem. And so Nebuchadnezzar enters Jerusalem, and it records a story. This is now 200 years after Zachariah has been stoned to death in the temple. Now, according to the Lives of the Prophets, it says that after they killed Zachariah, the priests in the temple no longer saw any angels, heard the voice of God, and the altar was not lit. The temple lost its sanctity. It lost it all. And Zechariah is believed to be the last kind of messianic prophet before now the temple is defiled and Judah is under condemnation. Okay?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And they killed the guy in the temple. So now 200 years later, so in this period now, everything's corrupt. Who shows up? Jeremiah. He says, you got to get the book out. Lehi takes the brass plates and he dips. And now Jerusalem is left to be destroyed. The temple's defiled. The brass plates are gone. So Nebuchadnezzar descends and just wipes the place clean, right? And when he comes to the temple, he sees a pool of blood. Like a whole body's worth of blood, which is a lot of blood, sitting there on the stones inside the courtyard of the temple, boiling. It's just sitting in, it just boils and boils and boils. Okay. Whoa. And he's like, what in the heck is this? It says in Sanhedrin 96b, he saw the blood of Zachariah the priest boiling. It had not been calmed since he was killed in the temple. For 200 years, it had been sitting there boiling as a reminder that the temple was defiled. Right?
Dude.
Now, this is the temple in which they find Deuteronomy. This defiled, blood-soaked temple is the temple in which they go, hey, look, we found a new book, and let's rewrite all the old books. And they write Deuteronomy.
Dude.
Okay? Just saying. So Nebuchadnezzar says, what's with this blood? And they go, oh, that's Zachariah. He was this priest. He preached about the Messiah, and we murdered him here. And Nebuchadnezzar, as the legend goes, he says, okay, well, I will make amends. I have to have this blood stop boiling, so I'll kill all the wicked priests. So he kills all the priests of the temple. Okay? And it doesn't work. So he kills like all the priests' like friends, all the priest subscribers. Like he goes down the list, killing more and more and more people, and he just says, what do I have to do and he cries out to the blood. He's like, what do I have to do to avenge, your blood or whatever? And finally he kills enough people that the blood stops boiling. Now, they knew this story in 30 AD because Jesus is referring to it. He's saying, you are the guys who corrupted the temple, right? This blood-soaked temple. You rebuilt the temple of Herod.
So this was not just, usually when we talk Apocrypha, we're talking about Christian apocryphal works. Mm-hmm. But you're saying this is actually before Jesus Christ. We're talking about from the times of the book of Enoch and the apocrypha that was taken out of the Catholic Bible and so on and so forth. We're talking about
they knew this. I mean, Jesus is referencing it.
Dude, this is crazy.
Yeah, what is the blood of Abel and the blood of Zachariah? What is he talking about? I heard somebody say one time, oh, it just means A to Z. Abel to Zachariah, all the blood from A to Z. I'm like, oh.
What? Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh, please don't ever say that from the pulpit. That is such garbage. No, it's Abel's blood that couldn't be buried and Zachariah's blood that couldn't be buried. It's this blood that stains forever. And so he's saying to the prophets, he's saying to the Pharisees, you guys have murdered the prophets and you're going to lecture me about washing my hands? Get out of here, right?
Wow.
Now, the dominant religion of the day when Christ was there was not the ancient religion of Israel. It was Deuteronomism. That's Phariseeism. It's Deuteronomism. These are the same school of people who killed Isaiah, who killed Zachariah, who killed Jeremiah, who drove off Lehi. They killed Urijah. It's these same guys. And so Christ is saying, your fathers killed Zachariah inside the temple. They stoned him to death. Don't you lecture me about your pretended. By the way, where did all those stupid laws come from? That they're saying, oh, you need to wash or you're defiled. Where do they come from? Deuteronomy, found in the blood-soaked temple of Solomon. And they're lecturing Jesus Christ about this. Zachariah was preaching about me, and you killed him in this dirty, blood-soaked temple of yours, and then you dig up and make up this book about how I'm unclean because I'm not washing before I eat? It's a savage rebuttal. Savage.
Dude,
Jesus
how come
Christ
we don't teach that more?
Oh, well.
Like, Jesus Christ was so based.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Jeez,
No one has
man.
ever been so just brutal. I mean, he could cut through iron with his words. They were brutal. And so everybody knew what he was talking about. The blood of Abel to Zachariah, like they all knew what that meant. Remember when your forefathers killed Zachariah? Don't pretend like don't forget. Everybody around here, we remember your legacy, your heritage, right? Brutal.
Okay, so this is in the Temple of Solomon.
Yep.
Which was destroyed by the Romans.
No, by Nebuchadnezzar.
I mean, sorry. No, yeah. Much earlier by Nebuchadnezzar. Romans was 0 AD.
Right.
So, obviously, there's no archaeological evidence of this. We can only look for literary evidence of this.
That's right.
But not throughout the canon of Scripture, but in places in the canon of Scripture specifically mentioned by Jesus Christ, which is obviously legitimizing the story, or at least the widespread understanding of the story.
Right.
Okay. It's mentioned, but you say it's mentioned in myriad apocrypha. So far we have which books again?
Well, the story of the effervescent blood of Zachariah, that's Sanhedrin 96b. That's a Mishnah. So that's like a rabbinical tract that has come down.
It's a tract that analyzes like the oral history of the Jews.
Yeah, that's
right?
Sanhedrin 96b, verse 5. If anybody wants
and
to
then
go
anything
find
else?
Let's see, the blood of Abel, that's the Armenian history of the sons of Adam.
Okay.
That's the Book of the Cave of Treasures from Ephraim the Syrian. That's not being able to bury Abel also comes from the Quran. And the Egyptian life of Adam and Eve, the Greek life of Adam and Eve, the penitence of our forefather Adam. A different Armenian text, it says, God ordered them to bring Abel's body. Cain, the lawless one, killed him and wished to hide him, but had been unable. So this is not, there's a lot that agree on this, but that's what Christ is referring to. Else, Christ's savage rebuttal is like, what is he talking about? But he says, and the reason that he says you all have the blood of these guys on your hands is because they were the perpetrators of that perverted canon. They were the scribes, the lawyers, right? He says, woe unto you lawyers, because they were the guys perpetuating the corrupted version of the Old Testament, Deuteronomy, the Deuteronomistic history. It's all about the law, washing before you eat, blah, blah, blah. A Messiah? Shh, don't talk about the Messiah. Get that out of here. They were sitting in Moses' seat, and they were spreading this false religion. And so that's why Christ says, you're going to inherit all the guilt for the prophets that have been killed because you dishonor their memory by lying about their legacy and all these things. So that's the effervescent, perpetually boiling blood in the Temple of Solomon.
Dude, that is so hardcore.
Hardcore, right?
How this is going into the video game.
Oh,
this has to be in the video game.
wait. You're 100% right.
Yeah, it's the right time, the right place.
Bro.
Yes.
Brilliant. Yes, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
Good call.
Exactly.
Good call.
Exactly. By the time you guys see this video, we probably will have made another announcement on the Book of Mormon video game.
Of course.
That is going to be so super epic and have all them apocryphal goodies all up in it.
Can't believe I forgot that. Nice call.
Yeah, dude,
Nice call.
that's epic. Okay, cool. Guys, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. If you're a person of need and you want to support the channel, please consider a generous contribution either through Zelle or through Venmo. We accept both of those platforms. Also, if you want to buy a shirt, please check out the WardRadio merch store. We got all kinds of shirts there, as well as a War in Heaven veteran hat waiting for you. Also, don't forget our sponsor, Go and Do Travel, and their Wavemakers 2025 LDS Podcaster Cruise. You guys are going to see all kinds of cool guests there, including myself. They're going all over San Diego and basically, what's it called? The
Baja?
Mexican Riviera, I believe is what it's called down
Ooh
there.
la
in Baja.
la.
Yeah, it's just a fun little 1 week tour where you're going to have a chance to get some special programming from all the podcasters that you love. Make sure you guys check it out there. And thank you very much also to our sponsor, Scripture Notes. All of these scriptural references to Scripture have been brought to you by Scripture Notes. You got to read your scriptures every day, and Scripture Notes is the coolest way to read your scriptures. And Oak Norton has been an awesome sponsor of this channel for a very, very long time. Please
But
make
if
sure
you
that
don't,
you guys...
if you don't want to read Scripture Notes, just buy my book.
Yes, exactly.
It fully replaces your Scripture study.
Yes.
No longer need to
Endorsed
bother.
by Russell M. Nelson himself.
Yeah, it just
Funded by the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. Pushed wholeheartedly by the presiding bishopric.
But that's true.
the Church of Jesus
That's not
Christ.
completely made up right now.
Even the janitor wrote a blurb on the back of your
He
book.
did. That's true.
The guy
A
that,
very nice blurb.
the guy that sweeps the halls of the church office
It's a very
building.
kind blurb.
So, please make sure you guys check out the free trial that you got waiting for you at scripturenotes.com. Make sure you mention WardRadio when you guys show up. And don't forget, last but not least, to go buy Jonah's book, The Lost Gems of Genesis. And if you haven't read it yet, his other book, The Key to the Keystone, both are available at plainandpreciouspublishing.com. You guys can check out their website and get a hold of their stuff there. Once again, with the promo code WardRadio. And for this and more, please make sure that you guys check us out at wardradio.com.